Welcome to the Flip Thinking Podcast. In this podcast, you'll listen to intimate conversations between Bertolt Gunster and his guests. Together, they'll explore the guest's personal problem and try to make it feel lighter or make it disappear altogether. This can be achieved in different ways. Sometimes they can simply solve the problem, but more often than not, they'll find that they have to let go of expectations or views they hold about themselves. At other times, they can only observe the fact that there is a problem without judging it. And in some cases, they can flip think the problem.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Can you tell me something about yourself?
My name is Selma. I'm married, happily married.
Fortunately.
Yeah.
Suppose you wouldn't be happily married, right? That would be a problem. Instantly. Right.
Instantly. Then
Selma, happily married.
I have 2 adult kids, a son of 26 and a daughter of almost 25.
Right.
And I have chronic migraines. And in 2018, I was disabled for work for 100%.
100%.
So I don't work anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this is your background about you.
Yeah.
Then about why you are here. What's your topic, your question?
Well, when I got the call specific from the Dutch institution who calls you when they tell you if you're disabled for work or not.
Which was in 2018, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I had been ill for over 20 years, but it took very, very, very long to get the right diagnosis. They told me directly, you're no longer part of society. She said, it sounds really harsh, but the sooner you accept that, the better it is for you.
You are no longer part of society. These are big words.
Yeah.
And at that time, which was 6 years ago, you were about 37, right?
I wish.
Oh, so you didn't mention your age.
Oh,
yet.
sorry, I'm
no,
50. I'm 50.
Oh, sorry. You don't look like you look younger.
Oh, thank you.
No, it's not a compliment. It's a fact. And anyhow, so 2018, you were
44.
44.
Yeah.
Okay, which is even quite young, with a lot of future ahead.
Yeah.
But she said you will be no longer part of society, and the sooner you accept this, the better.
Yeah.
This is a quite harsh message, right?
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
So I couldn't accept that. So I hid the first couple of months in my house. I didn't come downstairs before 10 o'clock. So I didn't see everybody leave in their cars to go to work. I loved my work.
What was your former job?
I was a secretary of the board in healthcare. And I did a lot of other stuff, but that was my last profession.
So you always loved to work, I presume, right?
Yeah.
Being part in society.
Yeah, but because you interact with people, you interact with problems, you make people happier, you get stories, you have lovely anecdotes to tell on a birthday party, for example. And I don't have any new stories anymore because my life stood still at the moment. And she told me, you're no longer part of society. And it's true, because when you meet new people, the first thing, well, who are you? You tell your name. And then the second or the third question is, what do you do for a living?
Lying in bed. And it's not a great story, is it?
No. And people, they hold back a little bit. And then you tell what you have.
Which is your chronic migraine, right?
And say, some kind of headache.
No.
That's so I try to explain, and some people completely understand because they have migraines themselves, or they know somebody who have severe migraines,
similar chronic illnesses,
or something like that. But the people who don't know such a thing, that your body doesn't do what your mind wants to do, it's really difficult to get some
on a chronic base, right?
Yeah.
It's not day in, day out, a little bit different. It's chronic, right?
It's chronic.
Yeah.
I have an average of between 18 and 21 days a month that I'm out of order.
Yeah.
So the 10 days that are left, I have to get out everything. So mostly I spend time with my family, or with the kids, or we go on holidays or stuff like that. But social life is also, very low. I lost not only my work, I lost my family, I lost friends, And in Western society, a large part of your identity is based on work. So I lost also my identity. And that's my main problem. Who am I?
Who am I? Is this the core of this conversation? Who am I? After having to accept this no longer being part of society.
Yeah. Everybody like to be heard or be seen. So if you don't have that, that's sad. But being ignored is even worse. And I feel that I'm being ignored in this society. For example, when COVID started, our dear Mr. President Mark Rutte was always telling we have to take care of our weaker people in society, the elderly, the chronic ill people. And after a few times I heard him say that, I couldn't listen to it anymore because thinking, well, what then? What are you doing to help me? Well, my circle is already very small, and during COVID, it became even more smaller. So what are you actively doing for the chronic ill people in the society? And it's nothing. We're completely forgotten. And with every individual I talk to who have something similar or something completely different, like MS or
fibromyalgie dinges.
Yeah.
The listener will understand.
They have the same feeling. They're not seen. They're not heard.
They don't belong.
They don't belong. They don't have a place in society.
Maybe it's good to first establish that this is a fact, that this is how it works.
Yeah.
That you and a lot of people with you have to deal with a fundamental, unsolvable, devastating problem.
Yeah.
Now, having accepted this, because we can tell nice stories, you do belong and we love you, but I'm completely on the same page that you, in a way, don't belong in society like a lot of people do belong.
Mm-hmm.
So now, to you, this triggers the problem of who am I?
Yeah, because losing my job and losing, well, you could say that all my education, diplomas, courses, everything I took, it's down the drain.
Yeah.
Shredder, everything, it's completely lost. So what's left?
Who are you?
Of me part of being a mother, a wife, a friend.
Mm-hmm.
But who am I?
Yeah, good question. So I have worked with the unhoused people. I made theater plays with them. And I was collaborating with a social psychologist who investigated during this process the people who were part of it, the formerly unhoused or unhoused people at that time. And he said they have a problem with getting housing and finance and whatever. But one of their biggest problem is their broken story. They don't have a story about who they are. They had a life once, then they lost their job, soulmates, partners, whatever, house, finance, and they can build up their life again in matter of material things, but they have to build it up in psychological aspect too, because who are they? And he said their problem is they have a broken story about who they are. And is this something you feel related to? Do you have this assumption, my story of who I was and who I can be is broken? There's a gap there?
Yeah, I guess so, because I was thinking the other day, this is not the life I was supposed
you have envisioned once
to be living.
No.
This is really personal. I don't have any contact with my parents anymore because they want the old Selma back.
Really?
And
how did this come about? This must be very painful.
Yeah, I cut them off eventually.
You did, in the end?
In the end.
But not after quite a things happened, I presume.
A lot of things. Because my mother always wanted the old Selma back. And she was so much fun. And it came with ups and downs. But
so were they complaining about you then? Or did they feel disappointed? Or didn't you meet up their expectations in a way?
I couldn't meet up to their expectations. I never could, but that's a completely different story.
No, maybe not. They can reinforce one another.
Yeah.
So they have quite strong expectations about who you should be.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah.
You disappointed them.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think my story is broken. I don't get me wrong. I love my life. I love life in general. So I make the most of it. I don't think life is makeable, as we say.
Right, manageable.
The manifesting, and I don't believe in that because
Me neither. A lot of this is bullshit. Yeah,
I think so
there are
too.
facts and reality you have to face.
I envy people who can live like that.
Yeah, good for them until a disaster happens in their life. Yeah,
that's
then they'll grow up. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
So you can't make life or put it to your hand.
No.
But you
in the
can
end, we all will die. For example, right?
Absolutely.
So how manageable is life in essence, right?
You can't.
You can't.
The end is, but you can make the most of it. So I'm trying to do that, but I'm trying to figure out who I am,
who you are,
who I want to be,
and who you can be.
Yeah.
Now, good question. So, who are you? That's the problem, right? Now, I have the assumption that everything we tell ourselves about who we are, this is my job, I'm a mother, I'm a writer, whatever story we tell, these stories are all, by definition, limited in time, because one day you will not work anymore. You at young age, but a lot of people will stop working when they're 60, 65, and then this identity crisis might happen, could happen. So all these stories we have about ourselves are, to my conviction, temporary. It's something the brain does. We tell ourselves stories. I'm a mother. This is what I do. I write books. I read books, whatever. This is who I am. But all these stories are just stories. And it's practical. We need them. This gives a kind of direction in life. But we do exist without these stories, is my assumption. It's a little bit difficult to live without a story, but it's not impossible. Like you say, you enjoy life. Being alive is something...
Yeah, because I'm really scared of death.
Well, yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Is this true? You are laughing now, but I think this is a laugh with a lot of pain, isn't it?
Yeah. I wouldn't be here if I wouldn't be so afraid of death.
Okay, let's slow down now a little. Because this is an even bigger topic than the question, who am I? This is, why am I living still? If you could just leave this earth in a snap now, would you do so?
Yes and no.
I think this is a brilliant answer. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Tell me about the yes. Tell me about the no.
Yes, because of my husband. No, because of my husband.
Yeah. Don't mix this up, right?
No, because of my children. And no, because my fear of death. If there is nothing, then it's really dark. And yes, because of the physical pain. I never know how my day will start, how it will end. Saturday, I was sitting on the terrace with my daughter, having a complete fun time. And I know instantly, a couple of hours afterwards, I get the punishment. I get a severe migraine. It lasted for 3.5 days. I can't get out of bed. And I feel so miserable. And then I'm thinking, never mind.
Too much pain.
Yeah, and also the feeling of getting punished every time I do something fun.
Yeah, it's quite hopeless. I
Yeah,
presume,
it is.
Right?
It is.
On these deepest moments of physical pain,
Yeah.
and I think psychological pain too. Yeah. Can you tell me, what are you then feeling and thinking in these darkest moments?
Oh, I just tell my husband, he asked me, can I do anything for you? I said, just chop my head off.
Yeah. And this is literally the pain?
Yeah, and the physical and the mental pain of being so sad. Well, depressed is a severe or a severe word, but being not able to do what you want to do, that every time your body lets you down and you think you had a great day, but even planning something like this, the podcast, I have to take a couple of days in advance of planning completely nothing. And I know I pay the price the couple of days after this.
After today.
I do it anyway, because otherwise I would miss out a lot. But it's really difficult to accept or to understand that everything you do outside my four walls, I get punished for it with a lot of pain.
And this must feel utterly hopeless.
Exhausting. I'm really tired.
Yeah. Yeah. And in these dark moments that you're lying in bed between your four walls and telling your husband, just chop my head off, that's the best help you can give me.
Yeah.
Is the hope of it might be better in 1 or 2 days, or by the end of the day, is it gone in that moment? Is it really dark and hopeless?
It's really dark and hopeless.
Yeah, I presume so, yeah.
Yeah, it's really dark and hopeless. And when I have my good moments afterwards, it's completely in the background. But with 20-something days of migraine, it's always there. Yeah. It's never gone.
And can you imagine when your children grow older, and there might be a day in the future that you really could make the decision to step out of this life? Is this a real option for you?
No, because I promised my kids I won't do it.
So it's the promise that keeps you alive?
Yeah.
And how would it be to break the promise?
I'm not raised like that.
Sorry?
I'm not raised like that. I keep my promises.
That's interesting. Can you elaborate on this? What's so important about keeping your promise? Because people can change, right? You changed during your life. You had to.
Absolutely, but well, I guess it's my way of thinking. My kids didn't ask to be brought into this world. I made the decision to do so. I got pregnant. So I was responsible for, let's say, 18 years of putting all the values and happiness and education and
food. Don't forget food.
And everything.
Yeah.
And then I was never, the world is theirs. But I can't leave them by choice, because I will always be there to pick them up if something goes wrong. I have to be there. The world is theirs. I don't have the empty nesting syndrome. They're both out.
Well, but sorry to interrupt. There will be a day, hopefully, you leave this earth before them. There will be a day they're on their own.
Yeah, but I they will be 60 or something, and they have enough life experience then, and they can do without me.
So until what age do they really need you deeply? And can manage without?
My daughter wants to be in an elderly home with me.
Nice for her, and good compliment for you, I presume. But
so I probably have to live around 90 or something.
The least.
Well, she's 26, I'm 50. So no, she's 24 now. So my son is 26. I'll probably be around like 85, 90 maybe. Everybody gets really, really old in my family.
That's a problem too. Well, but let's go back to this is what I find interesting to what you said. You don't break promises.
No.
You just don't. This is a strong no, right? A strong affirmation.
Yeah.
What's wrong with breaking promises?
Well, there's a difference between, I think, a promise and a promise. Like this, you can't take it lightly. Sometimes you promise to be somewhere.
Okay, what's wrong with breaking important promises?
I just don't do it.
So, and if you would break an important promise,
then I have really, maybe a Calvinistic struggle inside or something.
I don't know, but how would you describe yourself? How would you describe people breaking promises all the time and make it easier for you? People you just can't build upon.
I'm just not like that.
No, I know, and you don't want to be like that. I know, and we just found out, and we established this. But how would you describe people or yourself if you continuously break important?
Well, I think they're not trustworthy.
Not trustworthy. Trustworthy. Is there a better word? A more painful word? You can rely on them. Unreliable.
Unreliable, yeah. I don't judge because
No, I want you to judge now. Please judge, because there's a judgment in your head, and I want to know the judgment. You don't like to be a person like that, so you do have a judgment.
I think the world would be a better place.
I know. If everybody keeps their promise, yeah. And you don't answer my question. My question is, how would you describe, in the most painful way, yourself or other people if you don't?
Disappointing.
They disappoint you.
No, they're disappointing people.
The disappointing people.
Yeah.
They let other people down.
Yeah. They're just me, myself, and I.
Right. This is what I was about to say. They're egoistic in a way, or egocentric. Egocentric. It's all about them.
It's me, myself, and I.
Me, myself, and I. There we have it. You don't want to be me, myself, and I.
No.
You want to be there for other people.
Yeah.
So the reason that you're still alive is that you don't want to be me, myself, and I. It would be kind of egocentric and egoistic if you would leave this earth now. Then it would be all about you.
Probably. I know what people say about people who take their life. I have a different view on that. But mostly they say, why do they do that? And how could you leave someone behind? And it's so egoistic. But I understand the darkness of thinking about death, and that's the only solution.
You have these moments that you just want your head to be chopped off. This must be devastating, right?
Yeah, but I have another option. I have an option to choose life and live with the pain I have.
Yeah, but I think I have the assumption it's not an option. It's a necessity, because if you don't take this option, then you regard yourself to be egocentric and egoistic. And nobody wants to be egocentric and egoistic. We all want to be...
yeah, maybe. But I just don't want to let them down.
I know, because you don't want to be egocentric and egoistic.
I don't want to be disappointing.
No, but there's this strange thing that you already disappointed your parents.
Oh, so many times.
But this ended up in a break.
Yeah.
And they wanted you to be happy, enjoying life, funny, all who you are. In a way, you didn't keep up to the promises, the expectations they had of you. Is this a right assumption?
Not quite. I think if I try to analyze how it works, my father adores my mother. And my mother had a very restricted childhood and tried to live her life through me. So she guided me in a way to live my life how she wanted, and I had to tell all my experiences to her. So I had no private upbringing. Mm-hmm. And when I chose to have a career, I had less time for her. So I was always disappointing. I was not calling enough, or, well, whatever. So she didn't get... The more she tried to pull me in, the more I pushed away. Mm-hmm. And the more I got a career, the distance became even bigger. And then I became ill. And then there was nothing to be lived anymore. The only moment she was happy again when I wrote my book. And I published my book. Because then she could tell all her social circle, which isn't very big, but that's another story. Mm-hmm. My daughter...
What a wonderful daughter she has, right?
Yeah. Because that's my daughter who wrote the book.
But wouldn't it be a lot better for you if the moment that you were put out of work, disabled, whatever, that she was there for you right in that moment, instead of her feeling disappointed?
She never understood my illness. She has a severe headaches too, never as bad as I have, but she never could quite understand what the effect it had on me, because she had never had worked. She was a stay-at-home mom, and no offense there, but she couldn't understand why work was so important for me and a big part of me.
But we could say that your life was for large part about her unfulfilled dreams about her own life, right?
Yeah.
And she wanted you to be not having just a good job, but she wanted you to write a book, for example. She wanted to be proud of you. This is my daughter, so what a great mom I am, right?
She never told me she was proud of me.
No, but she wants to be proud of you to the outside world, so she can tell people that her daughter wrote a book, right?
I think she's like a peacock.
Yeah, a little bit narcissistic, we could say.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit much big. So now I have the assumption that this whole problem of you having to meet expectations and do what you promise has something to do with that you don't want to be like your mother in a way.
No, I definitely don't want to be my mother.
This is a strong yes. How would you describe her in the core?
Bitter.
Bitter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it egocentric too?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all about her.
Yeah. So now we're back to you. If you don't meet up to your promises, then you are egocentric. So that's his word. This is what you told me before in this conversation. And it's all about who you are, right? This is the main problem, but we are investigating a field around this question.
Okay.
So we stumble upon, I think, that you try to prove yourself and maybe the world around you that you are not like your mother. You are not.
Absolutely.
And I have the assumption that this is a prison for you. Why should you prove not to be like your mother? Why should you not just your life you want to live? Not as a reaction to your mother, but as a creation out of yourself.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
It is a prison. I always tell my kids, if you ever tell me that I look like grandma, you have a big problem.
Yeah, right. So you're not living a life, you're living a kind of anti-life, proving not to be like your mother. I repeat what I just said before, right?
Yeah, and because of my illness, I'm a stay-at-home woman, not mother anymore, because my kids are out of the house.
What's your story now?
And
what's your story? You're an egocentric, stay-at-home mother, not capable of doing anything. You are becoming your biggest fear. Yeah, thank you. I rub it in. The more painful this part becomes, the better for the conversation, I hope. Unwillingly, you resemble, in a way, you're like your mother, right? You want to be active, you want to be alive, you want to be vivid, you want to be there for other people, you want to work, you want to be part of society, you want to be everything your mother wasn't.
Yeah.
But you fail.
Yeah.
And it is my assumption that trying to get away from the pattern of your mother draws you back all the time.
Gosh, I hate this.
Thank you. Yeah.
I hate when people,
in not trying to be your mother, in trying to run away from being your mother, in a way, right? We must be subtle about this because you are not your mother. I know. But the patterns that are woven into your life, in a way, resemble the life your mother led.
Yep.
Is this a strong, confirmative yes?
Yep.
Okay. So now, and this is great because the whole conversation is about the core question: Who are you? Who are you? Right.
Who am I?
Who am I?
I'm not my mother.
No, but you are so hard trying to be not your mother. Okay, so but do you want to be not being your mother? What if this topic was not in your life at all? Not at all. If you're egocentric or not, if you come up to your promises or not. What if this wasn't the topic? What would you be then? I have the assumption you just don't fundamentally know.
No, I really don't.
Now, let me help you in answering the question, who are you? Like you said, you are a mother. Mm-hmm. This is a fact. You are a mother. You are a partner. This is a fact, right? You are a guest in a podcast now. This is who you are right now. When you walk out the door, this identity is gone. But for now, this is who you are. When you are at parties, you are part of a party, right? There are a lot of roles. You wrote a book, right? So you are a writer in a way.
Now I want to be a famous writer.
Yeah, that's the next step in an identity. But you are, in a way, a writer. Yeah. And we had a conversation up front. The book doesn't sell brilliant, but it doesn't sell bad either. It's you sold about 1,000 copies, which is very good. And you are currently writing a new book, another book. Yeah. So there are parts of identities in your life, right? There are parts of it, and they come and go. And they are not that much and not that fulfilling and not that big as the average person can experience because you are disabled.
Yeah.
18 to 21 days a month, you said, right?
Yeah.
Completely
Out of order.
out of order. But still, there are roles. There are parts of identity that come and go, like in everybody's life.
Okay.
So how is it then? This is a very soft okay. So how is it then with the question of identity, having spoken about your mother and not wanting to be like your mother, not wanting to be egocentric or egoistic. So now having said all this, going back to the question, who are you? What's then the answer to the question, who are you?
I'm bits and pieces.
Yeah, you're like everybody else, making up a story about who you are, and like we all have to do. For you, it's a little bit more difficult than for other people. Yeah. But everybody, when I became 60, I felt like a broken story. You know, and 60, oh, you're not 60 yet, so be aware. When you get there, I don't know if you get there, but when you get there, this will. For me, it was a new stage in life. What will be the rest of my life? I was really. It took me 1-2 years to rearrange, to really know that my life will be. There will be an ending of my life, and this is what I always knew. But now I really felt this on a deep level. My life has an ending. My life is limited. I can have all kinds of dreams, but I will not fulfill all of them. There is this limitation. And it really took me 1-2 years to find a new story, a new kind of identity. So looking for identities, I think, is a challenge we all have. It's difficult, but there is no solid answer to the question, who am I, which is definite for our life. Your search is everybody's search.
Okay.
There's this very soft, hesitant, okay, again.
Yeah.
So bits and pieces, you said, right?
I'm really listening and trying to...
let it sink in.
Yeah, and put it in a drawer to remind...
To digest it.
Yeah.
So we have established your life is bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Like everybody else's life. Yours is more difficult. We have to recognize this. Mm-hmm. We don't have to be lighthearted about it. It's really a big challenge, and your life is, in a way, broken. Your story about who you are is broken. You have a bits and pieces life now, right? For the rest of your life, hopefully. Now, first, can you live with the idea of having a life of bits and pieces? Can you embrace this as a fact? And enjoy the little pieces and bits that are there occasionally?
Yes, I think I do, because the highs, the better days, I live my life to the fullest. Mm-hmm. I think I enjoy those days more than average, because I know my low days. Mm-hmm. If you have very highs, you have very lows, right. But you can enjoy them even better than when you're floating.
Right. They reinforce one another, one could say.
Yeah.
You enjoy the light because of the dark.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I like my highs and I hate my lows. So the bits are okay and the pieces are kind of shitty.
When you lie on your bed and telling your husband, I want my head to be chopped off, and then when he leaves the room, now this is a kind of testing question, and at that moment, in a way longing for death because you want to get rid of the pain, right? You want your head to have it chopped off, right? Now this idea that pops up in your mind, I want my head to be chopped off. Do you regard yourself as egocentric or egoistic thinking this?
No, because the egocentric thinking about not being here anymore and thinking of myself as egoistic or egocentric, that's a thought that I have when I'm not in this dark place, because there's no room for that anymore.
There's no room for nothing. You're completely consumed by pain.
By pain and wanting to...
Well, that's an even better answer. So you do think it when you are at your highs.
I think probably when I'm in my middles. Yeah. So when I'm just coming out of a migraine and feeling a kind of not, that's the moment.
These thoughts pop up again.
Yeah. So
and then you have to go
before the lows and after the lows.
Right. And so then you force yourself, I presume, I have this assumption, that in these moments you push yourself forward to be joyfully, happily, to be there for other people, because otherwise you would regard yourself being egocentric, egoistic, like your mother was.
I'm an expert in hiding my pain.
Yeah.
I put on my makeup. I put on some nice clothes. I put on my happy face.
Right. And is it because you don't want to be seen as egoistic or egocentric? That is all about you. Is this why you do so?
I don't want.
Why do you put up a happy face? Why?
Because I don't want to be that my identity is only my illness.
Well, sorry for you, but it is.
Thank you.
You push yourself forward to being there for other people, to be happy, to be... You don't want to be like your mother.
No, I don't.
No. But what if now and then you might? Now and then. That life could be...
Push me over the edge.
No, maybe that would be help then. No, but this is, I think, a fundamental question. What if you give yourself the space that it can be about you, that you are in pain, that you do need help from other people? As a fact.
I know, and that's why I don't want to be about me when I'm having good days, because those 20 days when I'm not okay, it's all about me.
But you cannot my dear, you cannot do anything about this. Sorry for you, it's a fact. Accept it as a fact. You are disabled. You have to be, in a way, egocentric. There's no... you're tearing up now. What's happening?
Because
can you make...
I don't want to be ill. Oh gosh.
I'm here.
I'm feeling really egocentric because I'm feeling really sad for myself.
Yeah.
I pity myself.
Righteously so. Nothing wrong with that. But for you it is. For you it is. Again, is it because this resembles of how your mother lived her life?
That's my opinion of her. She probably don't see herself like that.
No, of course not. But she's not here. You are here.
Gosh, I don't hope she hears this. I won't.
How's her English?
Not very good, but my dad speaks it very well, so I won't tell him because I don't want to hurt them on purpose.
Why not? Why not be assertive about who you are in your life and be completely open about what she did to you, with you? Maybe unpurposely, but...
she wouldn't understand.
No, but I'm not here to understand your mother. I'm here to understand you.
Yeah, well, I just don't like hurting people on purpose. Everybody hurts somebody sometime. I know I did, but I know I hurt my parents when I finally said, "Well, this is
the limit.
This is the limit," because I had to protect myself. Egoistic.
There's the word again. Thank you.
Yeah, but there was this moment that it didn't involve just me, but it was starting to pass on to my daughter. And then I said, well, this is for me a hard limit. You can talk trash about me all the time you want. I don't care. But not about my daughter. That's just a line you don't want to cross. And they did anyway. So I said, okay, have a nice life.
And this gave you the force to cut the ties.
Yeah.
Which in a way reinforces the idea, I presume, being egocentric or egoistic. Who does so with his...
because it wasn't about me. It was about
but you okay. So, okay, you convinced me, right? So now, as a kind of, to summarize where we are now.
Yeah.
So your life is that you don't want to be egocentric and egoistic. This is the core motivation of your life. And you want to create a story about yourself, because who am I is the topic you entered the conversation with. You want to be a story about your life in which you are not egocentric and egoistic. Now, congratulations with this. You will fail because you just can't manage. So I think I understand why you have difficulty experiencing yourself, having a story about yourself. You will never manage. You'll never will. With this deeper pattern of you don't want to be egocentric. I think this is the core of why you can't make up a story about yourself.
That's difficult.
Sorry for you, but you just won't manage to be there for other people between 18 and 21 days a month. It's impossible. And there's no other way than to produce behavior that looks like egoistic and egocentric. That's your burden. It's a fact.
Oh, lucky me.
I'm sorry. Well, how is it to hear this out of my mouth?
Oh, really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's always this inner battle. I know I have it. There's this. I don't have an angel and a demon. I have a Calvinistic puppet on my shoulder who tells me that's not okay. That's not right. That's not how you're supposed to live. That's not.
So, and how are you supposed to live? By this monkey on your shoulder, Calvinistic monkey on your shoulder? What's the core message this monkey gives you?
Do good, be kind. Make the world a better place, even if it's just a small piece on earth. Even if it's only my family or my neighbors or just a little circle. Really basic.
Be there for other people.
Yeah, values.
So the message is also don't be egocentric and egoistic.
Yeah.
Well, great help from this Calvinistic monkey on your shoulder.
I try to kill it sometimes. That's why I started writing thrillers.
If you kill something, kill the monkey, not yourself. But you won't, because the monkey will always be there. It won't leave you, and it won't leave you easily, to be sure. So now how this raises, I think, the core question, how to deal with this monkey on your shoulder, with this Calvinistic identity on your shoulder, how to deal with it, because it pushes you forward into misery, I have the assumption.
Yeah, but it also pushed me to the things I've done.
It helped you. It pushed you forward in life, yeah?
Yeah,
so,
because I'm really hard on myself. I still have my goals. I still have my things I want to do. And because of that monkey, I will achieve, despite of my illness.
Yeah, so it helps you forward.
Yeah.
But in a way, it holds you...
It holds me back, definitely.
And it makes your life, in a way, a hell, a misery too, right?
Yeah.
So now how to deal with this monkey. So how would it be to say, thank you very much for your advice. Today I will listen. Maybe tomorrow I won't. You push me forward, that's nice. But my life is not about not being egocentric or egoistic. My life is just, I'm here. I have these bits and pieces, identity. This is my life. You make a bigger story of me than I will ever achieve. But that's nice. You want to push me forward like my mother did. She wanted to push me forward too. Writing a book, being a writer, be great. Thank you very much, monkey, Calvinistic monkey. I will listen now and then, but a lot of times I just won't listen. You are not me.
I think I can do that.
But then the monkey will say, you are egoistic, you are egocentric. How will you respond then?
I can see this puppet, and I duct tape on his mouth.
It doesn't help.
Yeah,
no, it doesn't.
It does.
Does it?
Yeah, it
Convince me, please. I think you are too optimistic now. Yeah. Because as soon as you take as soon as you remove it, it will start talking again. It's still there. You just don't hear it, but it's there. You know, you're not stupid. I'm not talking to a stupid woman. You know that this monkey has this. No, I would give you another option. Just answer to this voice in your head. Say, yeah, I'm egocentric now. Just admit. Bend along. Don't fight it. If you fight it, you make it stronger. You're fighting it.
Yeah.
By putting adhesive tape on the mouth. It will shout as soon as you remove it, or it remove it itself.
Yeah.
Just admit, I am egocentric. Because this is absurd too. You know it's absurd. But don't fight it. Own it.
I don't like saying out loud and that I have to be egocentric and egoistic from time to time.
No.
I don't like it to say it out loud.
No.
I really don't.
No. But now you are making little baby steps in investigating how it feels.
Yeah.
Sorry, now I have to produce egocentric behavior. This is what my life now is about.
That's my next step.
Yeah, it is. If you want to be altruistic and to be there for other people all the time, you won't manage in 9 to 10 days a month. You won't. You just won't.
No,
it's a disaster.
I know.
It doesn't contribute to having less pain. I don't think it's the cause.
No.
But I do think it worsens the problem. Can I say so?
I don't know if my pains get worse because of that, because it's a brain deficit. So it's really
really physical, right?
Really physical.
Yeah. So there might be a psychological element, but it's just if it is there, it's small, right?
I've been in really a lot of scientific studies as a subject.
Yeah.
So they really figured out my kind of migraines. So it's pure physical.
Yeah.
But I know that my dark thoughts, but I think that's for everybody. If you have dark thoughts, it will never help you.
No. But having said that, going back to the core question, who am I?
Yeah.
We have established you are a bits and pieces life.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be egocentric and egoistic.
No.
So the first part, this is just a fact. And I have the assumption you can, in a way, live with this and that you have accepted this. Although it's difficult, but this is who you are now.
Yeah.
But I think the freedom lies in accepting, stop fighting this negative self-image regarding yourself being egocentric and egoistic. There is a possibility of liberation there.
I think so too.
And how does this feel when you say these words?
It's an affirmation because I know I have not a real positive self-image. So I it's an affirmation of how I think of myself. So you read me quite well.
Thank you. And it must be really hard having so little energy in life and then trying to be there for other people. This must be a real burden for you.
Yeah.
And then even more, not wanting to experience yourself being egocentric. This adds up to this already very severe problem. So good luck with that.
Thanks.
Yeah. Are there any more final words, or have we said everything that had to be said?
Well, I think it's really, well, nice is not the right word, but I have this really good feeling about being bits and pieces. So that's really nice. It probably will sink in the days to come. But I'm going to think about those bits and pieces and how I'm going to fit that in.
The B&P wife, bits and pieces wife. Yeah.
Bits and pieces mother.
Yeah. Bits and pieces rider. Whatever.
Yeah. So that's really great. I'm not sure about the egoistic part. No, that's a tough one. I will.
This will take some time to sink in. Yeah. Well, listen to a recording.
Yeah, I will.
And take your time. And I'm really curious how this will all evolve from here.
Yeah, me too.
So we'll stay in touch.
I would like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, goodbye.
Thank you.
Wondering how our guest is doing these days? Well, we recently caught up with them. Stay tuned to hear their latest update.
Hi, it's Selma again. About 2 months now, when I was invited for the podcast with Bertolt. So now it's half of June, and it will be broadcasted, I think, on the 24th. So I'm really excited. I really liked the talk with Bertolt. It gave me some really good insights. It went really easy. It didn't take any effort at all to open up about the problem or the question I had. So that was really nice. And really, I felt really at ease. So that was very, very important. And the things he said, well, in the days, weeks, it really kept me busy because he pointed out some really, useful things, but also a little bit of painful. So that was a little bit of confrontation with myself. The two things that really stuck with me were the bits and pieces story, that my life is, everybody got stories to tell, and my life is just, because of my chronic migraines, more bits and pieces. And that's a good tool to use when I'm in social events, that I can handle that much better. The painful thing was that I had no intention to talk about my family at all, but we ended up there. So, let's do that as well. We talked about my mother, and he said, well, did you make the decisions because what I wanted, or did I make the decisions just not to be like my mother? And that was really confronting, and that's
a thing that I'm really, well, not on a daily basis, but I'm working on that. Well, when I have a migraine, I always had the difficulty to lie down or to take it easy. And I still wanted to do things because I don't want to be like my mom and do absolutely nothing. And now I let myself, although it's still a struggle, I let myself have the migraine and everything that comes with it. I mean, it's not my fault that I have these migraines. So, yeah, that's a big win. And that's also the thing that changed in me, although it's still an ongoing process because, well, you're never there. I'm learning every day, but those two things were really helpful and gave me a different mindset to be, well, a little bit more kind to myself. So that was awesome. I'm doing okay. I still got those migraines, so he's no wonder, doctor, that is completely gone. But I'm more comfortable to take decisions that suit myself or that helps myself instead of always thinking about the other one first and not taking care of my own needs. So that's really helpful. And at least at last that I would like to mention is that I'm really excited that the podcast is being broadcast. But it's also a little bit scary because I talk about my parents and it's never my intention to hurt anybody. And I would like to add that this is my point of view, and probably other people may think, well, that's only one side of the story. Completely true. And I hope that with my opening up about having a chronic illness and opening up about maybe some conversations that are really hard because it's not socially accepted, that I would help somebody with me opening up about it, and that somebody maybe recognize him, herself in it. Well, that's the reason, not to help only myself, but maybe reach out to other people who have the same struggles, the same thoughts, and yeah, that you're not alone out there. So a little update. I hope you enjoyed the podcast, and if you ever have any other questions, I'm really easy to find on any social media, on my Instagram or TikTok or something like that. You can find me, ask me anything you want, and have a lovely day.
Do you want to flip think your own problem too? In Bertolt Gunster's bestseller Flip Thinking, you will learn all about the life-changing art of turning problems into opportunities. Flip Thinking is available in England, Italy, Portugal, South Korea, United States, and soon in 17 other countries too. For info, check out flipthinking.info.